going on, guys? KCRC Rock Bouncer here. Got Hedgehog here, but a little bit of a twist. Making a video, son. So, yeah, I've had Hedgehog, was built as a 1.9 bouncer with SCX 10.2 axles and 1.9 tires. It had twin hammer trailing arms and 4-link front. Well, this is the new rendition of it. It's pretty basic, it's not finished by any means. But yeah, so we got AR60 axles on it. Still running the same shocks that I was running on Hedgehog before and my other 1.9 bouncers, which is 100 to 110 millimeter Proline Pro Spec scalar shocks. It's kind of a mouthful, but really like these shocks. These actual shocks are getting a little pretty worn. They got a little bit of wobble in them where they shouldn't have, but they're certainly not cooked yet, but they're getting close. So yeah, I went ahead and talked to my daughter, and she was okay with me borrowing her AR60s for a while, because she doesn't plan on playing outside with it at all anytime soon. So this is obviously just the first deal. I'm eventually going to get different axles, more than likely go to metal axles, or maybe I'll stick with plastic. I don't know, maybe I'll try and stay lightweight. But only thing done with this axle is it's got an incision locker and HD stock ratio gears, so that's pretty nice. Running bomber trailing arms. They're Vanquish gray trailing arms for the sway bar in the rear. As you can see back here, it's actually a stock Yeti or bomber trailing arm set from Axial, so it's one solid bar. I straightened it out, pushed it through, I sleeved it so the bar can't slide either way. So yeah, you see that works pretty good. Same electronic setup, running a Mamba X and it's kind of loud. Running a Mamba X and then a Castle 1406 4600 kV motor on a high voltage 3S battery. It's a ProTech graphite battery or graphene. Front axle, stock as you can get. It's even running dog bones in it. Running the stock steering linkage. Honestly, if anything, just to save this servo, I've got metal steering links for this axle, but I actually took them off because I don't want to blow up this servo. It's simple as that. Even if it doesn't break the internals of the servo, these plastic ears that mount the servo to the servo mount or to the bracket on the axle, those ears shear off really easily. So easily that this case is like a $6 case, and it's very easy to get a hold of. Stock ears, stock locker, stock shafts. We're running a 2.2 sized 1.9 tire. I'm still going to call this a 2.2 rig, even though it's running technically 1.9s. I do not consider this tire a 1.9 tire. It's a 2.2 sized 1.9. If you're going to call it a scale tire, it would be a 54-inch auger as opposed to the 40-inch tall tires that bouncers typically run. So substantially bigger. Drive shaft in the front is the Incision Universal shaft for the SCX 10.2, and then the rear is just an Axial wild bore shaft that I finagled and got to fit. So, as far as the vehicle so far, I played with it a little bit today, but the snow outside is way too deep, so as soon as gave it any throttle, it just dropped down and gets stuck on its belly. It's way too deep. But the little bit of testing I've done inside, like I've tried to drive I drive my 1.9s hard. I try and jump them when I can. The 1.9s don't jump like this thing does. With about this much run up to a pillow ramp, and the pillow being one pillow's laying like this and then another pillow's laying like that to make a little bit of an angle. Quite literally a 3-4 inch run up to it, so starting and then just rolling and hitting the throttle, I'm able to send this thing 6 to 8 feet through the air and land on the couch. I wasn't trying to land off that jump on the ground just because being plastic stock housings and everything's stock on the axles. Like I said, except for the rear locker and the rear gear. But other than that, everything is stock. So I'm going to try and avoid blowing it up as long as possible, which will deal with just some, I don't know, control while driving. So we'll see. Try and keep from cartwheeling down the hill. But anyways, guys, that's the rig. Really looking forward to getting out and playing with it. I think it's going to be way more capable than my 1.9 rigs are. Just by the short amount of time I've driven it. They're different, man. I mean, no matter how you look at it, no matter how good I set up my 1.9s, a tire this size is not going to be able to hit an obstacle as fast as a tire this size. It's just a simple fact. Now, granted, with this I have a lower CG, so I could go narrower and fit through more things, but at this point in the competition, I mean, I can go a little wider and a little longer and still compete with people, and might not have to be fighting my 1.9 bouncers so much, because they are a handful to drive. I'll go ahead and give you guys a small sneak peek. So, here's flat out. It's been powder coated in clear or gloss black. The rear trailing arms and sway bar links, the diff cover have been done in a Honda high-vis yellow. I'm going to go ahead and get all the links as well, and the steering links done in high-vis yellow, and possibly the knuckles for the front axle. And then it needs a servo. I just got a motor for it. It needs a speed control. It needs a couple things here and there. I've ran the 1.9s plenty. I was going to try and have this ready for our first event on March 6th here in for Kansas City RC Rock Bouncers. I'm not so worried about that now. I don't think I'm going to rush it. I think I'm going to go ahead and race with the 2.2 and just save the 1.9s for fun. I still want to keep my 1.9s. I still want to race from time to time with it. If anything, you know, I'm sure you guys have heard me say before, but I fell in love with these so much because of the realistic look that they have. The movement's realistic, the scale is realistic. They're more difficult to drive than these, but at the same time, I've seen my scale rigs look more capable than the big rigs. And maybe that's setup or just knowledge of one's rig, because I mean some nights, guys, I'm sitting here like this looking at it for a couple hours and I literally don't get anything done other than staring at it and thinking what I'm going to do or what's possible with it. So yeah, anyways, still keeping the performance-based 1.9, still will race it, still will challenge myself with it, but like I said in the post today, or that I posted just a little bit ago on Facebook, with this, I'm untying my other hand. I'm coming to race with both hands untied now, guys. This, I kind of got one hand tied behind my back. I'm at a disadvantage. I'm not complaining about that because I put myself in that situation because I am. I have more fun places to go play with this rig than I will this one, because this is more capable, so it's harder to find obstacles for it to do that challenge it. This is less capable, so I've got a larger variety of places to go to play with it and enjoy it and have a good time. Yeah, That's just kind of what I've been doing for the last 2 years, as far as racing, and just staying with the 1.9s. Well, now it's 2.2 time. I plan on upgrading the axles and some of the internals. I might stick with a plastic housing and then just buy a bunch of spare parts, and as stuff bends or breaks, just replace it. There's something, just like adding weight to a rig, there's something about keeping a rig light. One of the most capable vehicles I ever had was a bomber kit that I changed the rod ends out on, and I think that's it. Stock tires, stock plastic wheels, stock everything else. That thing had done so many crazy obstacles that I remember doing, and since then I've never been able to even think about touching them. So anyways guys, we'll see you at the races. Hope you like it. Hi, bye.